I'll step in.
Valley Vista, I'm not as familiar. This is south of the boulevard. I know who asked the question.
Yes.
And it's a local street.
Yes.
And it's presumably zoned R1 or under the city's ordinances. There's no dedication or improvement requirements for those types of projects unless they come in with some specific project. So it can only be widened if somebody actually does development along there to do it. The city can't just come in and widen a street without a taking. Projects widening can only happen when it's initiated by an individual. No, it is. I mean, if you build a house and you do a construction, then that's when we get the dedication. We can't just come in and widen the street where there's single-family homes.
All right, next question. What is the status of the hillside definition? The status of the hillside definition.
Oh, sorry, yeah. It's more specific to the point. What is the status of the designation of the hillside properties? Because we've designated, this is for mansionization, where we've designated properties in the flatland. Now we are going in for the properties in the hillside to designate them for hillside. It's basically the hillside mansionization ordinance, and it still hasn't been adopted yet. It's out there and it's being prepared and it's going through the process. But hillside mansionization, if that's the question, if you're asking a question without saying it, I'm pretty sure you're talking about hillside mansionization, and it's still being prepared. So it's not, the baseline or the flatland mansionization ordinance has gone through, and it's been in effect for approximately 2 years. Now people are wanting to know what's happening with the hillside mansionization ordinance, and that is still a little bit more complicated, and it hasn't been adopted yet. It hasn't even gone out to public review. They're still preparing it.
Do you have any guess as to when that might happen?
No.
Okay, no guess. All right, from Ellie Martin, when can we expect the new senior center at Van Nuys Sherman Oaks Park to open? And I'd like to add to that, what is it going to consist of? Reckin Park? Hello? No Reckin Park. Boy, and I wanted an answer to that. Okay, Jules, do you have an answer to that? Sherman Oaks Park Senior Center?
Why, because he's a senior?
He's Mr. Sherman Oaks.
Next year.
Next year. We don't know what's going to be there. Okay. There are many acorn streetlights in the Sherman Oaks area, which people like, but quite a few are either surrounded by some kind of plant growth or partially obscured. Why can't the city check all these lights and let the lights shine out? It's a waste of electricity. Also, does the city ever clean them? Most are rather dirty.
Okay, a couple of questions. I'll answer the last one first. Street lighting does clean lights, but I would have to go back to them and find out the answer as to when. Okay, so I can't answer that question. The Bureau of Street Lighting does provide contract monies on an annual basis based on their street maintenance assessment, their street light assessment district funding that they receive. It varies tremendously. This year, we are receiving enough money to prune on streetlight contracts somewhere in the neighborhood of about 8,000 trees. That's citywide. We have to make determinations about where that is most manageably used to get the most bang for our buck. And also, these streetlights are not the Cobra streetlights, so there may not even be an assessment district. I'd have to check with street lighting. Who is the person who wrote this question here?
Yes, it was
Harlan Peterson. We can talk about it a little bit more.
Thanks, Harlan. Okay, Mike Greenspan says, I have seen on the Weather Channel a system for each homeowner to capture rainwater. It is called Atlanta Rain Barrels, and the web address atlantarainbarrels.com. Do you have a similar product that's out here? If so, what is it called that can be used for that purpose?
Do you know about it? We have nothing.
Okay, yeah, I don't think Water and Power has any program right now, but they are available. One of the people that spoke here, I believe it was Ms. Pavley, said something about tree people. You can get a hold of tree people and they can help you with this. I have actually seen some programs that are offering these. They're basically a storage cistern, 50-gallon drums that are connected to your gutter system of your house, and you collect rainwater and then tap out on that when it's not raining anymore. I don't have a full answer, but I would suggest maybe Googling. Pardon me?
You can buy them online.
You certainly can buy them online, but there might even be a program, and I will do a little research, and again, if the person gives me their phone number, I'll try to get a little bit more information.
I personally, just so you guys know, have done a rain barrel on the side of my house. I know Nancy is looking into it. It's an easy thing to Google. Google rain barrels. There's a great company up in Canada that will ship you the rain barrels. They are up to 65 gallons. They look really nice, like ceramic pots, or you can get any style that works with your home. You just have to do a little saw cutting of your gutter and put a good base down, and you can capture in a 1-inch rain well over 65 gallons of water. You put that all around your house, you'll be watering your plants for a year. Hold on just a second, I'm doing it, so hold on.
Don't go away now, buddy.
Yeah, where'd you get that camera, Surgeon City?
Into cistern capture zones, so to speak, that you come up with some means perhaps of a rebate to get people to lower the significant costs of not digging out their driveway and putting in a cistern, which is relatively inexpensive, but the repaving or recovering of it, that would get more people to take on a project like that. That's just my opinion, because it's pretty expensive to go ahead and do a project like this. Okay, Dino Schofield asks Ron Olive, when a traffic flow survey is performed on a residential street, how is it performed? Physical counting, radar counter, electronic speed, and traffic counting?
Can I be embarrassed one more time? You're the
I'm the closest to Department of Transportation.
Department of Transportation. I mean,
I'm planning department, but I guess the Department of Transportation person didn't make it. Typically, Department of Transportation does look at the impacts, and we're talking about when a project comes in, because DOT usually is brought in to look at the impact of traffic on local streets when a project is being proposed. They do a traffic study. As part of the traffic study, they will look at not only the impacts of the major intersections on what's being proposed, but they will look at the neighborhood impacts of the local neighborhoods. They use a device, and it's part of the traffic study, and I'm not a traffic engineer, so I can't speak to the specifics of it, but they have the Institute of Traffic Engineers has rates, and they have methodologies on how to assess the traffic impacts in local neighborhoods. There's no count. Those counts that you probably see being done in residential neighborhoods are being done by Department of Transportation for another reason, to assess the existing traffic going through those neighborhoods, usually for a speed bump or something of that nature. But when we talk about the impact of projects on the local neighborhoods, that is done by a different type of traffic engineering technique. Does that answer the question?
No, but it's a good try.
No, but well,
come up afterwards and talk.
I'm not a traffic
Okay, Ida asks, huge overgrown parkway trees root up sidewalks, creating problems. They shed dead leaves. Who keeps the trees in proper size so that they don't overly debris neighborhoods and or buckle sidewalks and streets?
Okay, there's several questions in one question. First, I'll answer the leaves part. The property owner is responsible for the maintaining any leaf debris, that be twigs, leaves, fruit, berries, nuts, anything like that related to the tree is the property owner's responsibility. Just like the maintenance of the sidewalk is the property owner's responsibility to keep that clean. Trees, we want the trees to be as large as they can be. That's really what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to get canopy out on our streets, which helps alleviate stormwater runoff and many other benefits that if you'd like to, I could come out and I'd be happy to do a presentation about all the things trees do. Best management practice for pruning trees is about 7 years. We are not there.